I recreated this iconic scene from Rogue One using only one program, Blender. I started with modeling. I already had a Star Destroyer model ready from a previous project. I just had to prepare it a bit, change the textures, and add more details. Considering that I built the entire model from scratch, I'm pretty happy with the result, even though it still lacks a lot of small details. Still, it looks impressive enough for this scene. Next, I modeled the Rebel ship, the Hammerhead Corvette. I modeled it based on movie stills. The ship uses more complex textures, and I played around with shader mixing to make it look more realistic. As you know, the more imperfections, the better. The final result? Not bad at all, for just one day of modeling. I also quickly made the background texture in a separate Blender project. Animating this scene was time-consuming. First, I created a rough test animation with simplified models and basic camera movement. The Rebel ship followed a curve that mimicked the motion of the Star Destroyer, and that already gave a result very close to the original. I tried to match the camera movement as well, but in the shots where we see the interiors of the ships, I decided to add my own, brand new shots. After finishing the test animation, it was time to add the collision effect. To make sure my computer didn't explode, I skipped complex physics simulations and used shape keys instead. In edit mode, I deformed parts of the destroyer manually, then animated those distortions by hand, which turned out to be way faster than dealing with complex physics. Once the basic animation was ready, I added particle simulations. They made the collision feel more realistic and helped hide some imperfections of the hand animation. The explosion effects in this scene were also quite complex. Doing all of them as one massive simulation would have been a nightmare. Long cache times, errors, and endless rendering. So instead, I created the explosion in a separate Blender project. If you want to make a cinematic explosion in Blender yourself, check out my tutorial. Once the simulation was done, I imported it using an OpenVDB file. It's actually super easy. Add volume, import OpenVDB, then just locate the folder with your cached simulation. You only need to apply a texture to the volume. I did it like this. Then I duplicated that explosion and placed it in several spots, saving a ton of time. And the render wasn't too painful either. In the Compositing tab, I added some effects like lens distortion and glare, just to make everything feel more realistic. And it was ready for rendering. As always, rendering tested my patience. Let's do the math. Around 1,000 frames, each taking about 10 to 12 minutes to render. That's roughly 7 days, 15 hours, and 19 minutes. And of course, after some fixes and adjustments, I had to re-render almost half of it again. Sure, I had it easier. I already had the original scene as reference. There's still a lot that could be improved in my version, but honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Here it is, the iconic Rogue One scene recreated entirely in Blender.